allowing someone to join in. So, hey, people here and people out there. So today we have the honor of receiving and hosting, actually, you know, a pioneer, not only within the indigenous family, but, in commerce, constitutional law, and as well genetics. So, without further ado, we have brother Toriano ObaShango-El, aka the Chief, so from the Olmec, from the Urkansu, right? Urkansu
Yes,
clan.
sir. Yes, sir.
So,
Peace and
yo,
love,
bro.
everybody.
Yeah. So,
Yes,
yo,
sir.
bro, man, we're just gonna start, dude. And what I like to do, and it's for people hearing you and that's gonna hearing you, who's a
Mm-hmm.
Bashango, And so we're gonna
Mm-hmm.
go back a little further back and what's your pedigree and where you coming from, man? You know what I'm saying? So some of us know, it's from Arkansas, you know,
Mm-hmm.
but
Mm-hmm.
tell us like a little more, you know what I mean?
Right. Okay. Well, uh, my folks have been in the South, man, for generations, man. The states that we pretty much hail from, uh, Alabama, Mississippi, uh, Louisiana, Texas, uh, Arkansas, Tennessee, and the various tribal lineages that run in my bloodline, my pedigree is Chata, Chikasha, uh, Washashaktoon, Washita, Washa, Anianwi, which they mention Homer as Cherokee, uh, and Nadine, also Apache. So those are the lineages of my background. I was raised by, well, I had both my parents in my life, my mother and my father. But being born in the 70s, 1970, both my parents worked. So they left me with Big Mama, Great Granny. And Great Granny was very primary in my upbringing, my raising, as well as her mother too before she died. So these were very strong matriarchal women. I come from a good solid stock of men and women as far as traditional values, upbringing, things of that nature, and knowing who you are in relation to your lineage upon this land. So my great grandmother, Odessa Yancey, she was born in 1911.
Oh, sorry, bro, it's on mute though.
Great great grandmother, Eliza Gibson,
Yeah.
Johnson Gibson, she was born in 1880. So like I said, they were the primary factors, as a child
Yeah.
growing up, telling me who I was in relation to the land. So as I got older, I had other elders like my father. He's very, well, growing up, he's very instrumental, in knowledge of self, knowing who I am. And as I got older, I started to do my own due diligence and various other things. We're talking about like in the 80s now, 1980s and throughout the 90s. So that's pretty much my background as far as who I am, what I am. Uh, when I learned about the Moorish paradigm, uh, it was around about the late 90s. I didn't know very much about it, just touch and go. Uh, Read a book by York, Malachi York, set the record straight. But it really didn't go into too much detail until I started doing my own due diligence in the early to mid 2000s, around about 2006, 2007. And when I went down to the Dominican Republic, which that story, when I was down there,
Yeah.
and
And
what
bro,
the young sister told me.
yeah, but some of us
Mm-hmm.
know it, but
Hold on one second, man.
yeah, no worries, man.
Knocked out my.
Okay. So we'll wait for you. No worries. Yeah. So
Can you hear me?
now it's good.
Okay, I don't know what happened.
Okay. So we got you. It's all good.
Uh,
Can you hear me, Chief?
Yeah, I hear you, but I had you where you was coming through on
Okay.
the big speakers,
Okay.
and somebody knocked it out. So just 1 second. Let me go in here.
Yeah, no worries, man.
Okay. Okay. All right. Go ahead. Say something. Let me see.
Yeah, so Chief, I may know it. Some of us may know it when you went actually, through the island of Haiti. And I just want to put a shout out there to Benjamin Tiprit, aka
Mm-hmm.
Margot Washington, because he's the one that put me liked the island used to be called Kayati, in which
Mm-hmm.
Haiti is a derivation. But you went on
Mm-hmm.
the eastern part of the island, and some of us know it, but some of us don't know it, man. So you went, Dominican Republic and from mystery school.
Yeah.
So probably not a lot of people knows, that
Yeah.
part of yourself. You know what I'm saying? So could
Right.
you touch on that mystery school training that you did over there?
Yeah. There was 21 divisions while I was down there, and I was going through the system, to basically immerse myself deeper in my studies of our sciences. And I had already had a background in it, for a number of years at the time, since like the late 90s. Uh, and what made me want to get even deeper into it was because on my uh, mother's side of the family, my great great grandmother's husband, my great great grandfather, he was a root man. That's what we call him down south. Uh, he worked with voodoo.
Okay.
So, dealing with the spirits and all of that type stuff. So it was already in my background, in my blood.
Yeah.
And I just wanted to, the opportunity came, it presented itself. And how it actually happened, man, it was very, very mystical and supernatural. In 2004,
Hmm.
uh, after I'd, been heavily into doing the work, uh, I was paid a visit by Kawo, ObaShango-El. And he had told me, Orisha had told me that I would be going to Dominican Republic to get initiated. Now, mind you, in 2004, I didn't have a passport. I didn't know anybody in the Dominican Republic.
Mm.
And so, you know, the uh the 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 human side of me, or should I say the ego side, was like, well, even though Baba Shango had revealed to me that's where I'm going to get initiated. And I was like, man, I ain't got no money to get down there. I ain't got no passport, and I don't know anybody. So
Yeah.
I started trying to make plans to go to South Carolina or Yotunji. And every time uh, I had the money to go to South Carolina, something came up that prevented the trip. I tried it like 3 times, man.
For real?
And every time something came up that thwarted the trip, so I couldn't go. So after the third time, I said, okay, Baba, you spoke. I guess it's what it is. How I'm gonna get down there, I don't know. And so in 2006, I had moved back to Atlanta, and I was working on music, doing music. And it just so happened that I ended up meeting this young lady, and we started talking and we started dating. She was from the Dominican Republic,
Yeah.
and her mother, her mother invited me to go because she saw my picture on MySpace at the time, and she was like, "That boy, he has something with him." And she was like, "You can look at his eyes. The Orisha is really with him. The spirit is really with him." So, Madre, that's what I call her, man. I love her to this day because she's like a mother to me. She said, "How would you like to go to my country?" And I said, "Where's that, Madre?" She said, "Dominican Republic." And that's how it happened, man. It didn't cost a dime. I didn't have to pay for anything, nothing. It was like everything was already prepared, on the higher level.
Yeah.
And 3 years, when I had received the revelation from Baba, and it was September of 2004 that I was going to go. in May of 2007. I was down there. It just happened just like that, you know. So, you know, it just showed me, man, the power of when you build that close connection with the ancestors and you know, Orisha or the Lua, whoever you know, whichever ones you work with. I deal with both. Uh, how if you follow spirit, things is already laid out for you. You don't have to struggle. Whereas if you try to be hard headed after they tell you something, then things will start happening.
Right.
That'll mess it up. So your way ain't the way. You see what I'm saying?
Gotcha, man. Yeah.
Yeah. So and you know, when you're dealing with the mystery systems, man, the thing about it is you got to be pure at heart. You know, as you got to have your heart as clean as possible because you're dealing with a lot of power and a lot of energy. And a lot of people don't know that when you step off into that realm, if you go into that realm specifically looking for power, eventually it'll consume and destroy you. You destroy yourself. You follow what I'm saying?
Right.
But if you go in as balanced as possible with a clean heart, then you become one with the cosmos where basically you a conduit. You know, you flow with the grain instead of going against the grain and trying to do your own thing. And that's one thing I'll say is a lot of our people here, and I sit back and I see it on social media all the time. You know, I sit and I watch these people talk and I hear them talking about this, that, and the third. And I can tell right there by looking at them how they ain't got it. They ain't got it. You know, they doing a lot of talking, but the spirit ain't really working with them like that. Eventually they'll destroy themselves. So
Right.
yeah, you got to go in with a clean heart, man, and balance stance.
That's right. That's right. And you know what? So right off from there, I just want to put the link or like, connection. So that your proper experience, what I'm saying, in the
Mm-hmm.
island,
Yeah,
it made you boost for later on with the massive work that you did.
yeah, I would definitely say that. And I'm gonna tell you something, man. When I was down there, I was in Barahona. You know what that is, right?
Say that again?
It's Barahona, Barahona.
Ah, okay, okay, okay. Yeah, 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 yeah.
That's where I was,
Okay.
and we were staying with Doña Gladys. I call her Mama Gladys,
I'm
and
glad.
this was my madrina's sister. So my madrina was Mama Luisa, her sister. That was the one that had initiated me. So I wasn't down there looking for anything dealing with Moors. You know, I was just down there getting initiated so I could do this work. But the thing about it is, it's like I was sitting outside one day, man, and it was just beautiful, man. It's like paradise. Probably maybe it was about 80, 85 degrees. The sky was blue, the wind was blowing,
Mhm.
and the uh the 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 ocean was probably maybe about a half a mile walk to maybe three-quarters of a mile walk from where we stayed in town. So Mama Gladys' granddaughter, Catherine, had come home from school, and I would just sit down on the porch eating an orange and just enjoying the weather. And Catherine had said, she spoke, uh, "Hola Toriano." She said, how you doing? I said, bien. How you doing, Catherine? She said, I'm doing fine. I said, what you doing? I said, man, sitting out here enjoying the weather. And she said, okay, I'm gonna go inside and put my books up, and I'm gonna come outside and eat with you. So she went in the house and she put her books up. She came outside with an orange, so we was talking and stuff. And she said, you want to know what I learned in school today? And I said, well, what's that, Catherine? She said, well, today my teacher told me that the Moors are the original people of the Americas and that they own the land and that Atlantis is real. And man, when she said that, you know, my mouth, it just fell on the ground. I was like, wow. And so uh, when it came time to come back, uh, I don't know if, well, probably most of your audience, they from the island, but me, going down there the first time and coming back, I could tell that there was energy being worked on this land in what we call North America, and it wasn't a good energy. Somebody is literally putting things into the ethers that's keeping this place chaotic. And you could feel it so strong that the moment when I had landed, going down there, and my feet touched that soil, it felt like, man, I had a 10-pound blanket or 100-pound weight just lift off my back. I never felt so free, you know. And when I knew I had to come back, you know, I started dreading it because I just said, something is not right here, man. You could tell. And when I landed back, you could tell that energy was thick, man, you know. So as I started doing my due diligence when I got back from what, like I said, I'd already been dealing with the occult for many years. Right. I started looking into what she told me about Moors. Because mind you, I didn't hear anything about Moors growing up from Grandmama Odessa, great-grandmama Odessa, or great-great-grandma Liza. So the first place I went to, I ended up, you know, through a friend, was Moore Science Temple in downtown Atlanta. And I started asking questions, you know, how are Moors Indians? You know, I said, I knew it wasn't a coincidence that I heard that in the Dominican Republic, right. You know? Yeah. So I started trying to see where is the connection. Okay. The Grand Governor, he broke it down somewhat, you know, but I was still searching. I still wasn't convinced yet, you know, although I had taken on L, the title of L at the time. When I went down to, I left Atlanta in the summer of 2008 and moved to Texas. And on the way, we had stopped at Richwood, Louisiana. That's where the Empress was from, Empress Verdiasi. And we sat a while and talked to one of her very, very, very close friends, Miss Emma Pitts. May she rest in peace. And the thing about it is, as I was sitting up there talking to the elder, man, she knew my family. She knew my mother's father's side of the family and knew him very well. And we're talking about probably like in the early 1900s. This woman was rattling down history, calling out names. And I was like, dang, you know, where I knew that, okay, then, yeah, you know my people then. And we went off into the history of the Washita, and we were talking about my great grandmother. They called her Sweet Black Creole Mama Fanny Crittenden. Very dark skin, with very, very, very long silky hair. And then she was talking about, oh man, hey, I know Fanny, man. Fanny, very beautiful woman, man. Very pretty. You know, when she was younger, blasey this, blasey that. She said, I know your people. She said, I know Nelson. She said, yeah, y'all Cherokee. I said, dang, okay, yeah, you really know our history then. So after that, we continued on our journey to Texas. And I ended up moving back to, I got some knowledge when I was in Texas, because I stayed there from like the beginning of July to almost the end of November. And I ran into some brothers there who was on the Moorish thing, and they was able to give me even more history than I received in Atlanta. And when I finally moved, when it finally came time to move, when I moved back up here to Arkansas, it was on after that, man. I was hungry. I wanted to know more. You know, I already knew that we was the Aboriginal peoples of the land. I learned that back in 1974, you know, from great-grandmama Odessa and great-great-grandma Liza. This I already knew. But I wanted to find out more about this more an Indian connection. And then I started coming across things like Carthaginians settling over here, and the Phoenicians and Mansa Khan Musa, you know, things I'd heard bits and pieces about, but the history, you know, over my years, it wasn't going in depth as I was finding around about 2009, 2010. And The early Moroccans coming over here long before Islam had even touched what we call Morocco over there. You had the monastic brotherhood of Morocco coming over here. So once I started finding out all that stuff, I started looking for landmarks. And then I ran into the Bornstone, Anubis Caves, uh, 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 the Crawford County, uh, uh, Crawford County rock shelter with these ancient pictographs and epigraphical writing, things of that nature. And so I started compiling all of this stuff, and I started putting two and two together, man, to say, okay, then there is a birthright here. Now, how do we get into the meat and potatoes of it? You
Yeah.
know, what really belongs to us. And that pretty much led to learning how to draft and write things in accordance with law. And I started exercising it, you know. So that's pretty much in a roundabout way how it went down.
So good, man. So, yo, Chief, there's another
Mm-hmm.
thing too. Um, a lot of people from the indigenous family,
Mm-hmm.
unfortunately, are still stuck with, Indian. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And let's get not people wrong. You and I are both, I'm saying, indigenous people,
Yeah.
belong to the Palo American. So could you
Yeah.
touch on the fact that, that we're
Okay.
Indian and, with the mess up part regarding
Yeah. Well, the thing about it is when I started doing my homework on that word, the good thing about it that helped me was uh, I was private school educated. My mom and made sure that me and my sister, man, she wanted the top education that that we could have. So we was private school educated, and one of the things that helped me dealing with a lot of the things that really the foundational documents that really put us in the trick bag was that I took Latin for 2 years. I took Latin for 2 years and also took Greek. So when I started going back and looking at these documents and seeing what the Pope had written down, and of course we all know if you know Latin, you know what's called Romance languages, and Spanish is a Romance language. Uh, French is a Romance language.
Mhm.
Italian is a Romance language. Romanian is a Romance language.
Mhm.
A lot of English uh, have Latin origins as far as words. Uh, so when I started looking at what the Pope was saying and how things will have a vowel or consonant shift, even though when I say Romance language, that means it has its origins. You already know, but for those that don't know, it has its origins in the language of what they call the Roman Empire, which that's not originally their language. Latin was already spoken early by the Etruscans. But not only that, it has a foundational origin with what they call Sanskrit, which is the language of Bharat Paro, what they call Hindustan. So when the Pope wrote in the I want to say it was the Dum Diverses, and he said Sine Dios. Sine is without, Dios is God. And when you go to the Spanish, and I saw what they call Los Indios. Well, that's the compounding uh, of like a preposition in a noun. Sin Dios is Sine Dios
Yeah.
and Los. And when you look at it as Los Indios, it's actually, and you can type it up, it'll tell you the godless or those who don't have a God.
Right.
And if you know about the doctrine of discovery, there's a case, Johnson versus McIntosh of 1823, that they actually referenced the doctrine of discovery in that case. And that's when they said Indians only have the right of occupancy. They don't even have the title to their land.
Hmm.
So uh, that was a big eye opener as to why, you know, things went the way they did when they when the Spanish and the conquistadors and the English and all of them came over here. You know, they was literally moving on that doctrine of discovery.
Yep.
And so uh, a lot of people try to say, well, the Moors brought them over here, and I've heard it all. Man. I've heard it. If anybody read the Kraken, they'll know that's a well-researched document. I've heard it all, man, with these various people who more bash and more hate. And when I go and if you go into OneDrive, which you've already been to, the anthropological archaeological folder, I got all these old pictures and documents where the Dutch and the English and even the Spanish are calling Indians Moors. They're calling them Moors. It's written there. You follow what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So
bro.
we can't even argue that. I
Yeah.
mean, it's right there, you know. And these people, they want to try to put you on trial for something that was written 400, 500 years ago. Come on, man. You got to go to the source of the information. And that person is dead. So in law, that's what you call ancient documents. You can't even argue it. An ancient document means one that has been seasoned and vetted throughout time.
Exactly.
So the only thing when I started looking to the colonial laws, uh, the only thing that I did see was they referenced Moors, but the Moors could pretty much, man, move throughout society as they pleased. They had no problems, you know. And it's like what they did was they had two boxes out there, and basically said, pick a box. If you pick this box, this is what comes with it. We're not going to tell you what comes with it. You're just going to have to find out.
Mm.
You see what I'm saying?
Right.
And those people that picked that box of Indian, well, look at them now. Even though you have quote unquote the $5 Indian, which are the Europeans who, you know, move themselves underneath their title by paying a fee, but their blood doesn't link back to the indigenous peoples of the land. A lot of them don't.
Yeah.
Uh, they're on concentration camps. That's all a reservation is, you know. And they pretty much, man, are in such an impoverished condition, you know, and it's all based on of classification, you know, and codification of the classification, which means that basically this is what you're saying you are, so this is what's going to happen, you know. Now, another eye opener was for me was when I read Empress Verdiasi's book, and I've talked to her son Joe. You know, I've talked to Joe at least like on two separate occasions. When I read the book, I'm not gonna get into that conversation. I mean, I was a little disappointed. You know, uh, in my opinion, I feel like his mother's work should have been continued. But when I read her book, you know, Return of the Ancient Ones,
Yeah.
and the mother empress said that her great grandmother who raised her, she was raised by her great grandmother.
Mm-hmm.
Her great grandmother said, "We are remnants of ancient Moors." It's written right there in the book.
Yeah, it is, man.
Yeah. So as I started to look, you know, at this and going back to when I went to Richwood, uh, Louisiana, and talked to Miss Pitts, who knew Fanny, sweet black Creole mama Fanny Crittenden. And she said, yeah, your grandmother's a washerwoman. She was a Washita, you know. And her stories had matched up to my mother's father's sister, which was my auntie in St. Louis. We used to go visit her every summer.
Mm-hmm.
And she knew her father's tribal lineage, but she wasn't sure about her mother. She knew her mother was, well, you know, the old folks, they're going to say Indian. That's what, you know, you get the old folks a pass, you know. But when you get it straight from the horse's mouth and what it is in historical context, Fanny was a Moor. She was a mound builder. You know, she was for Washington. So that's what made me go ahead looking at the law, looking at what they had done to the word Indian, looking at its origin, Sene Dios, Los Indios, and looking at how they, through classification and codification, and also stare decisis, because Johnson versus McIntosh is stare decisis. It's, it don't look good, man. It's a bad rap, you know. So when I looked at the classification of coming from the Empress aspect, the Moors, you know, as well as the old history of the East coming up from here, you know, the monastic brotherhood, the empire, and all of that, I said, okay, politically, and in law, this is the best choice for how you identify with these people. And I think that right there is the main point that a lot of people are missing, because their whole system over there in the democracy, in the United States, they call democracy, even though we know it's a republic, it's organically, constitutionally established as a republic. But now they are operating in a maritime, admiralty, wartime capacity, practicing what's called mixed law. Not mixed law, but mixed war. Mixed war. You can look that term up. They are now a full-blown democracy. They even have it in several cases after 1940, stare decisis by the United States Supreme Court, that they are a democracy, going full well against the Constitution. That everything on that side is about codification, classification, and codification. So if you don't identify properly, man, you can really mess yourself up, you know. And I haven't had any problems, man, with these people, man, in regards to how I identify, you know. And that's what a lot of these so-called Black people that want to be Indian have to understand, because now it's going to get even worse. You can just tell by looking at the system, and with this blockchain and things that they're doing now in the digital age, codification and classification is going to be part of the blockchain. So now you're talking about doing away with paper and going globally, where this information circulates around the world. So how you identify at point A is going to be the same at point B, point C, point D, and so on and so forth. And you know, it's up to them. Everybody has a right to choose, you know, but you also have to accept the consequences of your choices.
Mm-hmm. I got you. Yeah, I got you. So, hey, Chief, man, before showing, you know, some of the landmarks, the connection, and to Sheikh Ronnie Bay and your OneDrive,
Mm-hmm.
you're coming, you know, historically from a mystic pedigree. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So, could you give to the people your definition of more, but on a cosmic, you know what I'm saying, on a cosmic approach, you know?
Mm-hmm. Uh, when I look at the word more, uh, and from my research of where all that word is, it's not just in Europe. Most people think it started in Europe. No, you got to go back further than that. If you don't know about Moria, Murugan, Mauryan in ancient Hindustan, Bharat Paro, then you're way off, you know. And not only that, uh, you have to understand about uh, the Maru, uh, or the Tamari, you know, in ancient Kemet, and they had the word Moor written in the hieroglyphs. They was known as the high priest of Anu, or the deity Anu. Uh, by the time it hit the uh, the Europhonic languages, or what's attributed to Europe, France, German, and English, Anglophonic, Francophonic. By the time it hit those, man, the word was already well in use. from Hindustan all the way to Egypt, Kemet. You follow what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Europeans didn't come up with that word. It became adopted in their linguistics, and they got their linguistic system from us.
Yep.
So, when you look at that word, because words hold power, their vibrations, their tones, frequencies, uh, acknowledging who you are, uh, it opens up pathways and portals. A lot of people don't even understand the DNA. The DNA is a ladder. When you look at the spiral, the helix, it's actually a ladder. And inside your DNA is thousands upon thousands upon thousands upon thousands of years of recorded history. So when you start dealing with the titles of your people, whether they're the national title or whether they're the tribal title or ethnic title, Aniyanwiya, Chata, Chiksa, Shikasha, Wishashaktun, Inde Nadine, Catawba, uh, uh, Gula, Nahaganse, uh, these various, names,
Mm-hmm.
then what you're doing is, man, being that your body is made up of 75% water, your brain is made up of like 90% water. And everybody knows that water can be programmed. If you don't know that, go look up Dr. Emoto, look him up and look up the experiment he did with water and writing words on paper or speaking words on over water and the shape, how it restructured the water. Even putting a writing a word down and taping it on a glass, and the water inside takes on a structure based on the word. Well, it's the same thing when you start dealing with these ancient uh, tribal affiliations and national origins. It's the same thing. You started to influence the water inside you, which has an effect on everything inside you, which has the ability to open up these portals to where your ancestors can come and go freely and give you information. And man, I'm telling you, a lot of those documents, like especially the Kraken, I wasn't even here, bro.
Mm.
I'm serious. I wasn't even here. I was just being. It was almost like automatic writing. Uh, a lot of the various documents that I put together, the commercial struck by the hand, the amount of hours I was pushing my body, man, 72 hours with no sleep, you know, and still running while I'm researching, you know. Most people would have collapsed. You follow what I'm saying? So I
Right.
already know that that was a power beyond me, as I was putting these things together and you know, furthering my goal of liberation from this tyrannical system, that is way off track in accordance to its organic foundation. So yes, when you say the word more, you are reaching back to the ancient lands of what they call Mu,
Mhm.
Lemuria. You're reaching back to Maurya, which is ancient Hindustan. You're reaching back to ancient Kemet, and everybody knows that the Mauryans was over here. Kemet was over here. Tamari was over here. You're even reaching down to uh, the Stargates down in South America, Aremu Maru in Peru. You can
Mhm.
look that up on Aremu Maru and the priest king Amaru Meru or Amaru Maru, who was the priest king that activated the Stargates down there at the giant walls they have. See this word and its phonetics is very old, it's very ancient. So when you start messing with these sounds and frequencies, man, you yourself become a portal by which you can bring these various energies, i.e., ancestral energies, to you, and you can receive information from them.
Right on, bro, man. Yeah, and it's a fact. You know
Yeah,
what I'm
yeah,
saying? I affirm this. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying?
yeah,
So I affirm this.
Yep.
Bro, I'm just gonna share my screen here. All right, and then so what we see, it's some landmarks. You know what I'm saying? So that's the one.
Yep.
If you
That's
know,
that's
yeah.
Cahokia.
Say that again.
That's Cahokia.
Uh-huh, uh-huh. You know what I'm saying? And just to show to the people, that's the one, if I'm not mistaken, near where that one is.
That's right. That's down the street from me. That's Toltec.
For real. All right.
Yeah. Yeah,
Okay.
that's probably about 25, maybe 30 minutes going down Highway 70 in North Little Rock. Scott, Arkansas.
Okay.
And let me tell you about that one, man.
Go ahead, man.
Uh, Back in September of 2018,
Yeah.
there was a sister that was down here with me, man. She'd come down and we was talking at the time, dating at the time. I took her out there on her birthday and we was walking the mounds and everything. And we was right out there at Totec. Brother, listen to me. Yo, we both walked up on the mound. We was probably about 30 to maybe 50 yards away
Okay.
from one of the mounds. And when we got within that boundary, an energy wave blasted off of that mound, and it hit us in the head, and I almost fell back, and she almost fell back, and I was like, "Did you feel that?" She said, "Yeah, I felt it." "Did you?" I said, "Yeah." "What did it feel like?" She said, "Something came off that mound," and man, the thing was pulsating like it had a heartbeat.
Mm.
The mound was pulsating like it had a heartbeat. It was like woo 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 woo. You could feel it, and we felt it in our eyes. Whatever the energy was, it hit us right in our eyes because she felt it in her eyes too, and it was pulsating, man.
Wow. And
Yeah,
so repeat that. When was that again?
that was September 2018. I took
Oh,
it out there on her birthday.
oh
Yeah.
wow. Oh wow. So
Mm-hmm.
bro, without story thinking, please share, what I'm saying, the
Yeah.
uh the mystical presence behind those, ancient structure, aka landmarks, and
Mm-hmm.
what Ronnie Bay
Mm-hmm.
has found with the Empress, with the
Yes.
coins. So yeah, go ahead and expand on that, please, man.
Yes. Every summer solstice, every summer solstice, you can go out to Toltec Mounds, and if you go to my website, I have a picture on there. If you scroll down below the videos and go to, yeah, keep going all the way down. Okay, keep going, keep going,
There you go.
keep going, keep
Okay,
going.
go.
Right there,
Okay.
right there.
Yeah.
Every summer solstice, it performs that event in the sky, and you look at that. That is the eye on the back of the $1 bill. That
Mhm.
is the great seal on the back of the $1 bill. That performs that same solar ritual every year for however long those mounds have been out there. So that
Mm.
lets you know that we're at home. Indians don't build things like that. That's high civilization, and that's somebody who knows how to watch the sky.
Right.
You follow what I'm saying? And
I know.
if you are a sky watcher, then that means that you have to know about how Anubis Caves was formed, because every spring equinox an event is performed at Anubis Caves in the panhandle of Oklahoma.
Mhm.
You know, uh, even down at the mounds in Louisiana, I want to say Watson Break Mound, a solar event every summer, so every solstice and equinox points, it performs. These are people, man, that have been charting the sky far longer than us. If you look at these people on these reservations, they didn't do that. They didn't do that. But if you go to, if you study ancient Chaldea, Elam, and places like that, that and Hindustan, those people were masters of astronomy. Those people were masters of astronomy and watching the sky and cosmic events and all that type stuff. And this is what I was saying, that a lot of these people, man, from over there, they came over here around about 5,000 years ago, you know. So continue. Go ahead
Yeah,
with
the
your
link,
landmark.
the link
Mhm.
with what Ronnie Bay showed to you. When he
Oh
went
yeah.
actually to one of these structures.
Uh he basically what he showed me, uh Elder Sheik Ronnie Johnson Bay, he was with the Empress and he sent me this picture of these quote unquote Negroid heads carved on a flat stone or like clay. And it had Paleo Hebrew writing. It looked like the writing looked like Paleo Hebrew, very old, very ancient Hebrew. And these were given to the Mother Empress. They was given to her by some people who had been digging in mounds and exploring caves. I think these particular ones, I'm not sure if they came out the mounds or the Burroughs Cave,
Hmm.
but she was sitting there holding them, and Elder was by her, Elder Sheikh Brother Johnson Bay, and yes, she had those ancient artifacts, man. She had those ancient artifacts like that Paleo Hebrew writing or Paleo Canaanite, Proto Canaanite writing on there.
Yeah. And in your document, we're gonna, scroll at your document, the Kraken, and you
Yeah,
did mention that. I'm
yeah,
saying, you know,
yeah.
yeah.
I have it's put up now, but I do have a picture of it where he sent me a copy of that.
Mm,
So yeah, so a lot of these things, man, these people already know, the powers that be, the
mhm.
Europeans, they already know. They already know. They're just, and they know the thing about it is, we'll we can go into the pygmy burial site, man. The Negrito pygmy burial site of Eastern Tennessee 40,000 years ago. These people already know who was here. The thing about it is, being that the land is established to set up in trust,
Mhm.
you know, it's a trust. And how do we know it's a trust? Because once again, you have to go back to the papal bulls. I don't care what anybody says. Do I agree with it? No, I don't. But law governs all events, and you have to deal within the framework of law.
Yeah.
The Pope, and I want to say maybe the 1200s, there was a papal bull called the Unum Sanctum.
Mhm.
And the Unum Sanctum, he declared himself vicarius, vicarius filii Dei, which means viceroy of the Son of God, or vicegerent. He's the trustee. He's God's trustee on earth, and he took the entire planet and put it inside that trust. And anyone, he said, that's not a member of that body, you're basically outside of the trusteeship of quote unquote God, and therefore, man, we have no right to we have no duty or obligation to regard you or anything about you. You know,
Yeah.
so if you know trust law, then you have to proceed in the proper manner and fashion as a beneficiary, because once the beneficiary shows up, according to trust law, they have to return everything to the beneficiary.
Hmm.
You see what I'm saying?
Yep.
And so if you are not coming in proper fashion, you know, and the Vatican runs all of this. The Vatican was signed over. I mean, excuse me, England was signed over to the Vatican right after the Magna Charta was done. King John, if I'm correct, he did a treaty with the Vatican that placed him up underneath that unum sanctum, and the United States is a subsidiary of Great Britain. Why? Because the central bank, man, is what they use to conquer the republic.
Yeah.
So You know, that forms what they call the trifecta. That forms the District of Columbia, the City of London, and the City of Rome.
Mm-hmm.
And so, being that the unum sanctum is actually, man, the outline of the trustee, once you come in with the beneficiary, they have to release it. And why? Because if you study the papal bulls and the authority by which the Pope writes the papal bulls, he has two sources of law that he draws from uh, to draft the papal bull.
Yeah.
And he drafts it from number one, natural law, and the other one is from the Bible or the Torah.
Mm-hmm.
And that's all throughout there in trust law, you know,
Yep.
Leviticus 25:10, everything. But if you're not coming, man, uh, in the proper fashion, you're not going to get anything. And that's just what it is.
Mm-hmm. Sounds good, bro. Okay, and now, just one thing though. So
Mm-hmm.
going now, what who's sanguine? So technically, red of the blood, right? But before,
Yeah, that deals with
hmm
the
but
law
before
of
that,
blood. Yeah, the
before
law
that,
of blood.
yeah, but before that, you, in terms of archaeologics,
Mm-hmm.
you have found, I'm just gonna put an excerpt out of your document, Kraken.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You spoke or you wrote, about, ancient Miramar in
Mm-hmm.
Argentina, what I'm saying, Allendale, South Carolina, you know,
Mm-hmm.
Laco in Mexico. So
Mm-hmm.
it's like many, archaeological sites, what I'm saying, making the links with ancient people. And even
Mm-hmm.
here, from this gentleman, Carlos Cuevo Marquez, from
Mm-hmm.
Estudios Arqueológicos y Etnográficos, Tom 1. So he mentioned, in that page 272, that in ancient times, young America was a misnomer black continent, and that black tribes, such as found in Haiti, Brazil, Panama, Mexico, and other black tribes of the North and South American lands, are the remains
Mm-hmm.
of the autochthonous misnomer Negro race, and so on. And the misnomer red American Indian were subsequently formed. So
Yes.
now you you put in your work the whole concept with genetics and
Yeah.
right of the blood. So expand on this,
Mm-hmm.
how you came about it and all the steps that you did. Because now we only see, the big picture, but behind the scene, I'm pretty sure, what I'm saying, there's
Mm-hmm.
tremendous work hours, what I'm saying, to properly farm it. So please expand on this, bro.
Okay. Well, first and foremost, I have to thank my teacher who took me under his wing and taught me and showed me how to do the research and due diligence, which is
Mm-hmm.
Tyrone Cannon. I'll forever be thankful to him. And he was very influential in my studying, of genetics.
Yeah.
So, uh, how I derived at what you're reading there, that can be none other than the people misnomer today is Negro, black, color, African American, Afro Latino, all that type stuff,
Mm-hmm.
was to go back that far in antiquity. What I looked at was the Y chromosome and the mitochondrial DNA.
Mm-hmm.
uh, and when I started studying those of various groups, first thing I did was I studied the ones of the various reservations that's over here.
Okay.
And when I went through the timeline of their appearance, because the mitochondrial and the Y and their offshoots, their derivations, have genetic mutational timelines or timelines in biological history when that mutation came about and when it became expressed.
Yeah.
You know, you have in genetics what they call ancestral and derived. Ancestral can be looked upon as it's there, but it's dormant.
Mm-hmm.
Derived can be looked upon as it's expressed. In other words, uh, testing has revealed that this is what it is.
Yeah.
So when I started looking at it from that perspective, I saw that none of these people, man, uh, who they're saying are indigenous to the soil, could have been back that far in regards to it matched what Carlos Cuervo Marquez has said with Wyatt Laco. Wyatt Laco from the U.S. Geological Survey, and I have that paper as well. I have that white paper. The U.S. Geological Survey and the University of Pullman, Washington, stated that it was roughly 250,000 years old. None of these people, I don't care if you go to Asia, even if you go to the South Pacific with the
Yep.
Negritos, even if you go to Siberia, even if you go to Australia, none of those people have in their mitochondrial and wire makeup the antiquity that goes back that far. They don't. It's not them. They don't have it in their derived states. The
Okay.
only ones who have it in their derived states are those people who have been misnomered as African American, Afro Latino, Negro, Black, colored, yada, 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 yada. You follow what I'm saying?
Right.
Now, not only that, in its antiquity, uh, it preceded the out of Africa model. You understand what I'm saying?
Mhm.
As far as when they say Homo sapiens sapiens migrated out of Africa. So that already shows that there was a group of people already here 250,000 years ago and even further. You know, I wrote in my documents about what they found down in Argentina, you know,
Yeah.
3.5 to 5 million years ago, anatomically modern human remains. None of these people go back that far. These
Mm.
people are in comparative analysis of that, they're recent. So the genetic mutational, the genetic mutations and the biological timeline of the mutations is what allowed me to sync up to show who was there at these places of human activity. Okay. Another thing that allowed me to get deeper into that was the ancestry informative markers from the autosomal DNA, and that dealt with the pygmy skulls or the pygmy burial site that they found in Tennessee,
Tennessee.
and the markers, the ancestry informative markers in the autosomal, which links specifically to those groups of people out of Southeast Asia. We're talking about the original people of Laos, Thailand, Cambodia, North Vietnam, South Vietnam, Malaysia, Philippines, Taiwan, Indonesia, Papua New Guinea, New Caledonia, Andaman Islands, Melanesia, and even Australia. When I started looking at those markers and I started seeing them pop up, 88% of the time, the people that went through the process we had, these same markers kept coming up. No, excuse me, 91% of the time. And 88% of the time, the Proto-Siberian Mongoloid markers kept coming up. And that showed me that, okay, if you were saying that quote unquote so-called black people were brought over here about 500 years ago, and we know that what they call slavery was a highly regulated industry. There is no way in the hell these markers are going to keep showing up with this continuous frequency in these people that you have misnomered these things and given a false history to, because it's looking more and more like, according to genetic science and according to the archaeological constructs over here that show human activity long before you people were even on the planet, that what you actually did was, man, you conquered and captured the autochthonous aborigine and fabricated a history with minimal contact
of what you did so-called bring over here from the continent Alkebulan. You took that whole entire minimal contact and threw it on everyone. You blanketed everyone with it. And the DNA kept showing more and more, man, that the history was a lie, it was fabricated.
Mm-hmm. And within that work, and big up to Taran Cannon.
Yeah.
It put lights that companies such like the
Mm-hmm.
companies 23andMe, name it, ancestry whatsoever. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
they're only portraying a colorable I'm saying results, right, or
Right.
analysis.
Right.
So could you take probably a minute just to share this because
Yeah.
you've been through it?
Yes. What he does, because he's been doing it for so long, since like 2009. By the time I found him, it was 2014. What he does, he has different types of because he was going to school for that, and the University of Perth, Western Australia. He had he what got him into human genetics. He was a championship dog breeder,
Yeah.
and that's what got him into to genetics of humans. You follow what I'm saying? Because he bred championship dogs, and he had to know that pedigree.
Yeah.
You know, and so when he started going to school for human. That's what made him actually go to school for genetics dealing with humans. And when he started dealing with the Australian Aborigine and those various people over there, Papua New Guinea and Caledonia, what they call Austronesians, he started hearing some stories, and then he got deeper into the genetics because of some of the stories he's being told. They already knew about America long before the Europeans did. You follow what I'm saying? Those people have been seafaring over there for thousands of years, you know.
Yeah.
So once he saw the algorithm kept popping up when he was doing his own analysis with people, by the time I hit him, he was already man thorough in the game from going to school as well as doing his own independent genetic research. And uh, the only thing I brought to the game was the descent because I knew law. So I said, okay, not only are these this information matching up with what my great great grandmother told me, Odessa Yancey and Liza Gibson. I said there has to be a way to make this functional in law. So I went to Rules of Evidence 702. Sure enough, there it was. And I said, okay. I said, Brother Tyrone, this is what I need for you to do. Have you ever heard of the descent? He said, no, what is the descent? So I explained it to him. I said, okay, I need you to take the science. Here's the law as it pertains to it. But I need you to take the science, with your own findings. And we need to prepare a descent. And I was the first one to get the descent back in 2014. After that, people started coming through this method.
Yeah.
He started doing descents for them.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of things, short tandem repeats. The white papers that are from these peer-reviewed bodies of knowledge hold a lot of the clues and keys in regards to us over here. Like, for example, I give you one, haplogroup L1C. Uh, a third of L1C that's in the genetic database belongs to African Americans. And when they ran it against its counterpart in Alkebulan, i.e., Africa, few showed any genetic matches whatsoever. And L1C, the genetic mutational timeline for that is roughly about 60,000 years ago. So that shows you that if it's not matching up with the L1C or a few matches, if any, in the continent of L1C, that means that it's been separated from its continental counterpart at least 60,000 years.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yeah. Yeah. And I just I'm just highlighting something here out of your
Mm-hmm.
document, and that's from
Mm-hmm.
Anatole Kleinsoff. So
Mm-hmm.
it's only resuming what you're saying. The mtDNA,
Yeah.
micro groups L1
Mm-hmm.
to 6 and the Y chromosome macro, are not African in origin, and then you go to expand on it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's it.
There's another
Mhm.
there's another document that came out in 2017, and I have that one as well. And it goes into the most recent common ancestor between Homo sapiens sapiens and Homo uh, Homo neanderthalensis, which is Neanderthal. And it was showing that the most recent common ancestor, because here's the crazy part about it: fossil records of Alkebulan do not support the presence of Neanderthal, but Asia, uh, Western Asia, Eastern Asia, uh, supports a high presence of Neanderthals. But the crazy part about it is the most recent common ancestor between the two groups, Homo sapiens sapiens, Homo sapiens neanderthalensis, uh, was showing through molecular biology that it
Mm.
had to lie in Asia. And the reason being is because you can't separate two groups that come from a common ancestor and place their origin in separate places. It doesn't
Right.
work that way.
Right. Yeah.
So their paradigm, as far as what they've been telling, is falling apart, man.
Hmm.
Science is destroying it.
Hmm. Yeah. You're right, though. And I just wanted to share something with all that being said. Let me check
Mm-hmm.
if I can have it.
Mm-hmm.
If not, it's okay, though. It was a map, an ancient map, you know what I'm saying, that was showing the migration from Lemuria to the South American uh, country,
Yes.
you know what I'm saying, and up to Atlantis. But
Yeah.
anyway, I'll share it to the people. Oh, I probably have it here, bro. So allow me to take probably.
Mm-hmm.
No, it's okay though. So you know what? We'll skip that one. I'm just gonna share it to the people. So hey, bro, before open up the Q&A, so that's
Mm-hmm.
your webpage here, ObaShango-El.com.
Yes,
It
sir.
is a online university. You know what I'm saying? Because within your own drive, if I'm clicking here, so it's
Mm-hmm.
well, structured, and it goes to anthropologic language, everything about Moorish, monetaries, the
Mm-hmm.
inter trust, you know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying, and trust books as well. So
Mm-hmm.
you click in one of the files, you get like, what I'm saying, a lot of documents, and
Mm-hmm.
you got stuff too with mystery school, so
Mm-hmm.
it's heavy on the information, all right, and you know what I'm saying, with your document too, the Kraken, which can be found right there, so you have
Mm-hmm.
the project weapons of mass call of law destruction, all right,
Mm-hmm.
and hey bro,
Yes,
one
sir.
thing, and let's say if 30 seconds, I'm gonna ask you three questions. Try
Yes, sir.
let's aim for 30 seconds, you know what I'm saying, so quickly, the empress,
Mm-hmm.
the
Empress
important
Verdi.
the
Yeah.
importance that she had on your life.
The Empress, beyond finding my connection with the Washita, she was the first to get people that look like us recognized as the oldest indigenous people uh, of America, of not only America, in the world,
Yeah.
at the Geneva United Nations.
Bless and peace upon her. Yeah.
Yes.
Next one, Prince Uriel Bay on your works.
Prince Uriel Bay was the one who actually brought to light the Born Stone, as well as the Moorish Latin and the travels of Hanno the Navigator, in the ancient Proto-Canaanite, uh, Paleo-Canaanite, Moabite, and those people from the east coming over here, establishing, setting up kingdoms, which made me look for the writing pretty much all over the place. And it's in Oklahoma, it's in Uruguay, it's everywhere, man. Vermont, New Hampshire. So, he brought the epigraphical evidence to the forefront as
Yeah.
legal documents.
Word up. That's word up. So now we have, ascended masters. They do operate on the sixth dimension and fifth as well. They also, in the subterranean levels. So let's say now on the mystic and approach, Noble Drew Ali, but on the mystic approach.
Noble Drew Ali.
Yeah.
Noble Drew Ali, I would have to say his focus on spirit with time never was when man was not, and that pretty much that the essence of God and man are one. You know, when you see yourself, you see Allah, and how to conquer and master the lower self to develop your higher self, to live in the divinity of the Godhead that you were designed to be, and to study intensely, and study yourself, and study DNA. That's what led me. His words led me to studying yourself. Noble Drew Ali.
That's
what your ancient forefathers were, you are today, without doubt or contradiction. So, what does that say? Study your blood.
Yeah.
Study your bloodline.
And that's deep, though, huh?
Yeah.
That's deep. That's deep, though. The blood thing, it's deep, man. So, you know what I'm saying? So let's, Chief, we're going to open up the Q&A. So I'm just going to ask the people, just, you know, state your appellation, just so the Chief knows where you came from. Just state, you know, which territory you are. So whether it's Quebec territory, Ontario territory. All right. So whoever wants to jump in, go ahead. So, you know, you can ask about commerce, trust, genetics, history, even mystery school to the Chief. All right. So go ahead, people.
Peace.
Peace. How you doing?
I'm good. You? My name is Hattie, and I'm from Toronto, Ontario. I just wanted to ask, in terms of the DNA thing, like I know my bloodline was Bay. My name is Bay, my bloodline is Bay, but with my husband, he's L, so I was taking on the L. What do you think about the differences? And like, if you're married, if you could take on your husband's bloodline, do you think you should just keep the same? And also, I was told for the DNA thing, for the, some people have this reservation, like it's not really a good idea to go and get them to take your blood because they do stuff with your blood. What do you think about that in terms of the DNA thing?
Were you born in a hospital?
Yeah. No, I mean for the, I know, but like that's what I'm saying.
You ever been to a dentist?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, you know, you've had people that's been incarcerated. You've had people, man, that's been in the military. They already got you. They've been had. If, as a matter of fact, they actually started cataloging the various populations in 1961 or 1962. And individually, they started taking it in 1975. So if you were anywhere after that, rest assured, they probably already got you. So, I mean, people can have their reservations, but I'll say this. Sophia Stewart, she did an interview. I don't know if you know who she is, but she's the lady that wrote The Matrix and The Terminator. And she said something that was so powerful that she reverberated what I've been saying for years. She said, until a man knows who he is, you just guessing at who you are. He said, until you do your DNA, you just guessing at who you are. You don't know who you are. That's just like, I didn't know that, you know, I only knew what my great-grandmother and my great-great-grandmother taught me when they took me back as far as they could on who we are and gave me oral tradition, history, and lessons. I had no idea that I had Negrito DNA running in my veins. Those are my ancestors buried in Tennessee 40,000 years ago. That's who they were, the Negritos, the little people. And that marker shows up 91% of the time in us. That means there was a heavy population. They said there was about 75,000 of those graves they found over there. And they're even finding them now up in Ohio. So until you know who you are, you're just guessing.
Okay.
You're just guessing. You know, then people, me, myself, I don't push it down people's throats because I'm good. You know, so me and my crew over here, we're good. You know, it's up to them because what's going to happen is He who makes the claim bears the burden of proof. The burden of proof lies on him who affirms, not he who denies. Bouvier's Dictionary of Law, 1856, Maxims of Law. So that boils down to claim and proof of claim.
And when you do it, does it take like how long does it take to get the results?
It takes maybe about 3 weeks to maybe a month. That's about, I think somewhere up in there, about 3 weeks to a month. Okay. You know, but just go and do your homework on the sites. You know, and they have it all laid out. Not only that, they have it where you can actually correspond back and forth with them, so you can make an informed decision. You know.
Gratitude.
Mm-hmm. Now, I want to say this because you mentioned something. You said taking on your husband's bloodline. You can't take on nobody's bloodline. Your bloodline is your bloodline. You know, I think you probably meant taking on his family name or something like that. But your bloodline is your bloodline.
Yeah, like I mean, like I'm a Bay, and I found out I'm a Bay, and he's an L. So I was saying assume both names. So I was like, you know, sometimes when you take in Canada, you take your family name and then you add on so that's how it was.
Mm-hmm.
So, okay, L because it's L or Bay, and I'm kind of like between the two.
Mm-hmm. That would be something I guess that you guys would have to talk about, because I know in a lot of indigenous cultures over here, when the man would get married, he would move out and move in with his wife's family, you know. And I know in a lot of the cultures from the East, you know, that's where the taking of the surname came from, you know. So that'd be something y'all have to talk about. I couldn't make a decision on that or point you in one direction or the other.
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Dean Bay. So whoever wants to go next, go ahead.
Hello, hi. My name is Akeem. Peace. Thank you a lot for the knowledge. The question I have before we start any like trust account or commerce account, do we need to go further in the spirituality?
When you talk about dealing with a trust, well, a trust is commerce.
Yes.
Your spirituality is that's something that's personal. You know, that's how you commune with the ancestors in the Most High. You know, I can't see where, you know, in the initial stages, one spirituality will play a part on their trust or formulating a trust.
Yes.
You know, your spirituality is your spirituality, man. How you connect is how you connect. You know, a trust is just to protect you when you're doing commerce, dealing with these foreign agents on our soil. So now, if you're talking about certain texts in regards to like the Bible or the Quran, and you're talking about contracting, well, a contract is made up of, first and foremost, you have an offer, you have a meeting of the minds, which creates an acceptance, an agreement, and then you have consideration, which is valuable consideration, which induces the party to contract. And then you have what's called truth. A contract cannot be based in falsehood or fraud. So a contract is formed up of what they call terms, conditions, stipulation, and agreements. And maxims of law, lex contract faillit la loi. The contract makes the law. So whatever you may put in your contract, if it has spiritual terminology, then that becomes part of the terms, conditions, stipulations, and agreements once the party accepts it, and all the points of contract have been met.
Thank you for the answer. And what about the type of do we have a currency that we should try to keep more, or like in your gold or coins or anything else?
I'm a firm believer and what the Most High has naturally established. Now, I will tell you that I've recently purchased some crypto. Uh, I have 2 Ethereum, but I'm not looking at getting too heavy off into that. And the reason being is because gold and silver was here before we got here. It'll be here long after we gone. And it's in accordance with natural law. Why? Because you can melt it down, you can grind it up, you can turn it into powder. It's still going to be gold and silver. You know, it's part of the natural frequencies that was spoken forth and created, created by the Most High. So that's natural. That's something that you can pass down. Cryptos and things of that nature, right now, they have their value is mostly from derived from its borderless ability to be used, you know, internationally. You know, it knows no borders. But the thing about it is, it's based on electricity. And what if the grid goes down? You know, what happens to your crypto then? So there's a lot of things, you know, that I look at with that, you know, although I'm not telling you not to deal with it. I'm just telling you where your pros and cons. Me myself, I got a few, just 2 coins, and I'm looking at the aspect of what's been money or what has been circulated as money for the past 5,000 years. Gold and silver have been used to transact business for the last 5,000 years. Indisputable fact.
Thank you so much.
Mm-hmm.
All right, thank you, Akeem. And then again, anyone who wants to ask a question, just mention your appellation and where you're from at. All right.
Hello, good day.
Greetings. How you doing?
Thank you for helping us get our. Sorry, I'm driving. So, thank you for getting us connected to our ancestors and stuff. So, I'm in Toronto, and I came from Trinidad and Tobago.
Mm-hmm.
My father name is Sam Lau. So he's a like Indian from probably India. My mom and her family, it looks like I think they're from Carib or Arawak people because they have like black. They look like black native people and stuff, and their face is like flat and stuff like that. So yeah, so my mom on my mom family side is Montano. So I'm just a beginner and I'm learning, and I don't know if I'm supposed to do my family tree and on my mother's side, and I was told that as long as it come from the bloodline, that I can continue doing my research and follow through with what I need to get, right? So I need some like advice, like about this.
Okay. It sounds pretty much like you answered your own question.
Yeah, but so just do my family tree, my history, and so now I'm divorced, but I haven't changed my ex-husband name, so I'm like Shah, but I don't know which name to put. Like I know I have to change my name, my marriage name, but like I think I don't know if to go with my father's name or if to go with my mother's name, Montano.
If you're correcting your status, you can go with both. And I'll tell you why I say that, because I kept both my surname and I also included my mother's maiden name, her family name, in my entire appellation. And the reason being, the reason why I did that is because number one, all my documents are filed in the courts. Number two, there's no telling what may happen 200 to 300 years from now in case my descendants lose their way. So if by chance, or my relatives, who are related to me and their descendants lose their way, if by chance my name is spoken and by chance they find the court records, they will see the name Hervey, which is my father's surname, family name, and they'll see the name Hopes, Hopes, which is my mother's maiden name. So they can begin the process of tracing back to who they are from what I left them by looking at those last names. So that's the reason why I did it. So once again, that's entirely up to you. The choice is up to you. You have to make that decision. I can't tell you one way or the other. I can only tell you what I did and why I did it.
Yeah, I think it's best to put both names because it's just going to trace back, still going to trace back to my mother's bloodline. And yeah. So I have another question about, so I've been driving for UPS over 16, 17 years and stuff, right? So when I get my trust, what should I do in order for them to start? I don't know the procedures.
Well, first things first, what you have to do before you even get to a trust, you need to have a foundation on which your trust rests. And that means correct your status, because if you are a corporate citizen, you can't own any property. You're already spoken for. So the first thing you need to do is set your foundation, come out from underneath the corporate structure. And once you do that, then you can start looking at putting together trusts that you put them together in accordance with law as it pertains to your status. Right now, I wouldn't worry so much about that. That's like putting the cart before the horse.
Okay. All right. Also, another thing is I own a house right now. So it's a lot of things to learn, like a lot of history stuff we have to start, getting into and learning more about, and, our rights. And it's very sad that people take that away from us. Like, I'm caused by all of this stuff because I'm now learning, So, yeah, and I feel for people a lot, like, I've been sharing stuff. And, yeah, so, but thank you so much. And, yeah, so would you be coming on every Saturday, or there's different people coming on?
This was just Emiraki. He had asked me, and of course, I've been knowing him for a number of years. So it was just, I guess it was a spur of the, I can't say spur of the moment because we planned it. It was just, just something that happened. So, but I'll probably be back. He had me back. I'll be back.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for your help, and you're helping people. That's really, really a great thing that you're doing. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you. Take care.
Thank you.
Yes. Thank you, Cecilia. So the Chief's website is in the chat. So, I'm inviting a lot of people who may not know it to go and check the stuff, you know what I'm saying? Because you're going to relate in a way or in another, you know what I mean? So then again, anyone who's okay, so I'm saying Tirbe is unmuted, so probably you want to go. So Tirbe just did, your appellation and where you come from, all right?
Hi, Toriano. I don't know if you can hear me. I'm in my car.
Greetings. How you doing, brother?
I'm all right. Thank you for being with us.
Yes,
my question is related to the way we live, or what's the vision. Currently, I just came about the information last August. And from what I gather, at the end of the day, we kind of have to live together in the community, not everyone is scattered everywhere. So am I correct, or
you're very
about we live on our own and to be sovereign on our little corner? Or
no, you're 100% absolutely correct, and I'm gonna tell you why I say that. Because number one, there's strength in numbers. Number one, you know, and number two, in order to get the maximum benefit from treaties, they have to see you in some type of societal construct. Although you do have, excuse me, you do have the right to be an individual, but the maximum benefit comes from communities. So I would say that yes, once they see you coming together as a society, then what happens is you start to form government and structure. It'll be a lot easier to deal with them, because you have to understand, number one, what you're up against. What you're actually up against dealing with these people is you're dealing with, number one, a corporatocracy. The corporatocracy has taken over the government. The governments have failed. And so they just wear the mask of government. They wear the mask of government, but they're 100% corporations. So if you don't want to be caught up in that, then you have to start to structure and set the boundaries in accordance. Can you hear me?
Yes, I lost you for a couple seconds, but I heard most of your answer.
Yeah, you have to set the boundaries on how you're going to deal with these people, because as an individual, they have the numbers, and the thing that they're going to do is they're going to use the numbers, and they're going to use their size and their stature against you just to railroad you. But when you have numbers and you have charters and you have constitutions and you have bonds in place and you have your commerce established and you have branches of your indigenous government, now they know that, okay, we have to take these people seriously. They're literally, man, exercising their right to self-autonomy, and they're using international law. These various bodies drafted up. So, it's no more just one individual. We can tell them something and shoo them away like flies. No, that's not going to work. It's not going to work.
Okay, so is there a minimum number, like to say that they need to be as recognized community?
I know right now.
Build some houses and call ourselves a community to be recognized.
Well, I would say a good start can be 10 people, families included. That's children. Okay. So if you add your children and you got about 10 adults and everybody's married, that's about, 10 families, that's about what, 30 people? So that's a good number, So, you just have to, I would say, kind of look at it from the angle of, you got to see who's really willing to do the work. So a lot of people, man, they say they'll do the work. And when it comes time to really do it, they're not going to do it. So you have to weigh the pros and cons of who you're going to try to build a community with as well. Because some people want, they want easy pickings and as less work as possible.
Yeah, yes, I hear you. So let's say we've built a community and when 10 and more people. So now how do we link up with all the other communities? How do we make it official that we're one and the same?
That's when you start to have to draft paperwork. You have to let your paperwork precede you. You have to start putting documents in, charters and things of that nature. But, you got to understand, before you can even get to a community, you have to get yourself straight. You know, you just don't hop in the community overnight. You know, the way this is the hierarchy of things. This is the order of things. It goes first, number one, the individual. Then the individual goes to a family. Then the family grows to a clan. Then clans grow to tribes. Tribes grow to nations, and nations grow to empires. That's the hierarchy.
I hear you. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Terry. Hey, Chief, you mind if we go until 2 o'clock?
That's fine.
Okay, good. So, thank you, Terry. Hey, I just want to shout out something, though. We had, in the last session, Asir, the Duke of Tears. So, probably a lot of people don't know that, but, the Chief and Asir has been building, but, straight, real building, you know what I'm saying? And out of it, Chief, I don't know if it's word right now because it's still going, but the bank, and the autochthonous bank. So shout out to this. People just go on the Chief website, and you're gonna see the work that's it's being laid regarding the autochthonous trust and the bank of what's it called, Chief? So please go ahead.
Yeah, Bank Shia Kansu, Moorish Freeholder Financial Services, and Autochthonous Trust. And we have the hierarchical structure for that. The one who sits over it, his position is the the Grand Vizier. And he's working on the public interface so that we can start to create liquidity. So things like communities and all of that, man, we'll have our own funding. We don't have to go to the European to ask for everything. We'll already have it. So, and he's making headway with that. It's been a struggle here and there, but not too much. We already got pretty much majority of the foundation laid.
Yeah, that's what's up.
Yeah.
So,
the game plan is to be 100% self-sufficient, independent. Because if you look at Africa, the countries in Africa, they're in a bad way, man. A lot of them in a bad way, making deals with China. And a lot of their leadership has sold them out. Cutting deals, with those people who no way, shape, form, or fashion could have their best interests at heart. The Chinese are for Chinese. China's all about Chinese and not for anyone else. So the same with the European. When you start making deals with these people, that's when things start to go bad. You want to be 100% self-sufficient, independent as much as possible.
Thank you, Chief.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm seeing Brent had a question. So Brent, just mention to the Chief where you're from. All right, so I'm gonna unmute yourself so you could go.
Yeah. What's up? What's up, guys? Everybody good? Everybody good?
Yeah. Greetings. How you doing, brother?
Greetings. I'm good. We're from Montreal, right? Could we set up that banking service with you guys in Canada here?
As it stands right now, I can't say yay or nay. Not at this time. I could definitely say nay because the Grand Vizier hasn't put the last mechanisms in place. Now, how it will work once we get the electronic side down, then I don't see why not. But as it stands right now, no, we don't have that capability yet.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So thank you, Brent. Anyone who wants to ask a question to the Chief? Go ahead.
I have another question regarding the community on how it started up. Okay. So,
at your base?
Yes.
Yeah, since probably, beside myself and the Chief, there's 21 people. So I'm going to ask you one question, because to let the chance to the other people, you know what I mean?
All right, okay. So I just want to know, in money-wise, to start a community, was it a big investment? Do you need a lot, or you just started and as you go, you built it?
Brother, once again, you're putting the cart before the horse. Let me ask you this. What is your status? What is your status currently?
What I
Are
mean?
you a citizen? What is your status currently? Are you a Canadian citizen?
Well, I set my paperwork to be to the Great Seal. I'm waiting for it. So that's my current. So right now, I'm Canadian, per se.
Do you have any contracts with the corporate Canada?
A bunch of them.
So community is the furthest thing from your mind right now. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, I understand.
You're putting the cart before the horse. Okay. You know, get your contractual status correct first. Then you can worry about, you know what I'm saying, what it takes to build a community.
All right, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Chief, because you know what? You mentioned it a lot of times, and even there's a court stare decisions, you know, the citizens of the United States, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know, that's the trick, you know what I'm saying? So they're all, you know, awards or chattel or name it as we want it. And the same stuff too with Canada, you know what I'm saying? So people might have a core, that big house, whatsoever, they're not theirs. You know what I'm saying?
It's not. Chattel property cannot own property.
You know what I'm saying? So that's the thing about, you know, correcting your status. That's first and foremost, like you know, you and a bunch of people are stating, that's quite vital. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So please go ahead. Question. So we have Kay. Go ahead, Kay.
Hi, I'm Keisha. I'm from Montreal. So we've been doing a lot of research because we're newcomers to a lot of the information, right? We were approached about the Moorish community a while back from actually AG. And then we kind of put it on hold because I guess my spirit wasn't really feeling, how should I put it? The place where we visited, I wasn't feeling it at the time, right? For XYZ reasons. So now we're doing some research, and I'm hearing on the same topics, different point of views from a lot of different Moors, whether they've been Moors for a while or if they're newcomers. So I just want to hear your take on the titles, because I'm getting all different answers, and I kind of, which is good. I mean, I'm getting from different perspective and avenues, which is fantastic. You know, that's how you make a whole picture at the end of the day. But I guess when you hear from everybody, then I guess you'll figure out what the real truth is. So I want to hear your take on how you get the title, the Moorish titles.
Of El and Bay?
Yes.
Those are attributes. You call them titles, but they actually, man, are for attributes. L's have historically always been dealing with the law, whether it's natural law or whether it's the written law. Bays are governors. The Bays are governors. In the 18th and 19th dynasty of Kemet, El and Bay were viziers of the Tamarian Comedian Empire. And if you look at El, you have to understand that first and foremost, all of the angels were given the attribute of El. Those were the messengers. Those were the ones that carried God's commandments forward to man for society here on earth. So his laws can be carried out. You understand what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So L's deal with the law, B's deal with the governance of the law. The governance dealing with the enforcement of the law within a given society. You have to decide on which one is best for you. L fitted me because the law came easy to me. You know, I took constitutional law in high school, and I had the highest grade point average. I had the highest grade point average in the class. I had a 96 GPA in that class. Next score below me was 83. So law came easy to me. If you're somebody that's good with management, project management, people management, you know, then maybe Bay is suited for you. So you have to look within yourself, look at your own attributes, and make that decision on your own. I can't tell you.
Okay. So basically, everyone chooses their own titles, or what's the terminology you used?
Based on your attributes, Don't put something over your head that the shoes are too big to feel. If that's not you, don't wear that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. No, because I was very curious on how you chose, whether it's an L, B, Ali, or I can't remember
Ali is only reserved for Noble Drew Ali.
And only he can. Okay.
That's a high title.
Okay. So no one can be above him? Is that it, or?
And unless you resurrected the empire like he did and brought us back our nationality, that title is reserved for him.
Okay.
Yeah, I just wanted to add something, Kay, like the chief mentioned earlier. You know, within the mystic paradigm, sound and vibration are, you know, very important, but there's a lot to respect it. So choosing, let's say that, you know, Ali, it comes with the tremendous responsibilities, you know what I'm saying? So
yep.
So that's why the chief saying that thing, unless, you know, resurrecting the people, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, but if not, there's gonna be some, you know, there's gonna be some damage because yeah, what we can handle is what we can go with, and if it's too much, unfortunately, within the natural law, it's gonna damage. You know what I'm saying? So, just to add it to it. So what the chief mentioned, yeah.
Okay, thank you. I appreciate it.
Quite welcome.
All right. So anyone next? So then again, any question regarding commerce, mystery school, even, you know, law, constitutional law, trust law, or even, you know, past history or indigenous history. So please go ahead. And just want to mention, there's no dumb question. You know what I'm saying? So we all, you know, here to, cause you know, it was a calling. So whenever, or you feel you want to ask something, there's no dumb question.
True indeed.
I have a quick question. How do you put the house under the trust?
Well, unless you have a title free and clear, you can't convey something that you don't own into trust. It's called a fraudulent conveyance. So unless you have free and clear title, then you won't be able to do that. Now, the thing about it is, we know all mortgages are fraud. So if you did not reserve your rights, I know Canada deals with the PPSA. You have to go into the commercial laws of Canada and look at the laws pertaining to contract. So what you'll have to do is you're going to have to challenge the validity of the mortgage based on the laws of contract. And I know you guys are civil law up there. They deal with civil law. So you have to do it in a manner that conforms to what's acceptable in their court. And you have to challenge it there. And once you're awarded a judgment and it's free and clear, then you can put it in trust. Other than that, you can't do that. A lot of people, what they do down here, they'll make these contracts and they'll stop paying the mortgage. And I don't know why they do that. I tell them, man, don't do that. Do not do that. Once fraud is discovered, fraud begins at the moment of discovery. Then what you can do is continue paying your mortgage, but you do it underneath duress and coercion. You reserve your rights from every payment on, therefore, and you challenge them. You challenge them privately and you challenge them publicly, but you have to stay in honor. The moment you fall into dishonor, the court's not trying to hear anything. So you have to stay in honor, but reserve your rights, and you have to challenge them on the fraud privately, then publicly, and then get a declaration to where that you're released from that obligation, that burden. And then once it's free and clear, then you can transfer it into trust. You cannot transfer encumbered property into trust, even if it is fraud. You have to remain in honor at all times.
So that's the answer, Brent. So thank you, Chief. So now it's 1:58. So I would ask anyone, so we could probably, depending, we have probably one or two questions. And if you have one, please go ahead. Now's the time, you know what I'm saying? Although we might have the chief later on, but let's take the opportunity of that session right here. So in the meantime, that someone will unmute, I did receive a few requests for the Zoom link. All right, so I was not looking at the email between 11 to now, actually to half an hour. So for those people that request the Zoom link, just to let you know, this session is recorded. I'm gonna put it on YouTube. So I'm gonna send you the link, and I'll send a copy as well to the chief.
Gratitude.
Any question, guys? Ladies?
No question, but I just want to say thank you, gratitude for the information.
Quite well, thank you.
All right, so it's 2 o'clock, so we have to respect it. Chief, I just wanted to show something to the people. So, that one I know, because a lot of people's been probably asking this. I'm just gonna share it, Chief. All right, so it won't be long. So it's regarding, mutual funds account attached to the, so hold on. You're gonna see it, yeah. So 2 mutual funds account attached to the certificate of life birth, in the social security, attached to the enslages, Toriano A.G, which sounds like your the name that your parents gave you, but it's not you. So
right.
Could you go, just quickly, just an overview so people could start research on their own, the whole thing regarding this?
Mm-hmm. That to be able to do that is getting more and more scarce. We just had a contact that for some reason now he's not picking up. But what that is was 2013, I was able to gain the QSIPs from my social and the certificate of live birth. And what I did was I wrote Fidelity, because that's where the QSIPs, those instruments were lodged. And I basically let them know, hey, man, based upon my investigation and my research, this is what I found. And here's the QSIPs. You got X amount of days to respond to this, because people have been getting wealthy off of a commercial vessel that was attached to, my flesh and through a legal fiction. And I'm coming back to get that. And when they didn't, then I was able to procure a lien against them. So that's basically what that is right there. And I was able to, if I wanted to, I could actually use those, but I got something else planned that's way bigger than that. Way bigger than that. And but yes, everybody is being traded in one of these houses. Fidelity, T. Rowe Price, whoever's out there. But yes, they have monetized and commercialized you. And not only that, you're traded around the world as well. So, but you can't look at any of those things until you get back in proper status. Because as what they call human capital, you are a revenue generating commodity of the corporate nation state. And down in what they call the United States, they have human beings listed under the agriculture code, livestock. And this is where it is.
Yeah. Yeah. So hey Chief, you know what I'm saying, I know the people likes it and they're really honored to have you here. You know, that session, you know what I'm saying, that have to earth, you know what I'm saying, talking and everything. So appreciate him more. And you know what I'm saying, we heard it, you heard it, you know what I'm saying? So they would want you to come back. So we'll work on this, you know what I'm saying? For a session, no doubt, no doubt. You know what I'm saying?
Definitely, man. I appreciate you having me.
Yeah.
I enjoyed
it. All right, Chief. So, you know what I'm saying? It's an honor. It's an honor.
Yes, sir, fam. I appreciate you, man. You take care, man, and we'll link soon.
Yeah, no problem. So the people, if you want to give a shout out to the Chief, just on mute, you know what I'm saying? It's informal here. All right. So thanks
very much. We appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Much appreciated.
For coming, Toriano.
Not a problem.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
You're quite welcome. You're quite welcome.
I can't wait for the next session.
Most definitely.
Mommy.
Peace and love, everybody. Ashe.
Yes. Yes, Kelani.
Ashe.
So I put the Chief email if you wanted to reach to him. So it's obashango@msn.com. And you have his website as well, obashango.com. All right. obashango.com. There, yeah, that's enough though. All right. So Chief, hey, rest well. You know what I'm saying? Enjoy your day. And we'll link up again.
I think he's off already.
Yeah, he left. So thanks a lot to everyone. And I'll send you the link. All right.
Thank you.
Most appreciated. Thank you.
Thank you. We appreciate it.
Mommy.
Thank you. Mommy.